In mailbag 53-ish, I was using this, and it was quite obvious that these are of a very poor connection to the LEDs. So my plan for this video had been, notice the had, was simply to replace these with some nice machine socket ones. And I figured, okay, part of the video would be to show the schematic. And here's the schematic. Pause and take a look at it. See if you can see what's wrong. I'll give you a hint. Down in this section of it. But let's get over to the rest of it first. You might look at this and go, okay, well, they've got it 2. There's probably a 3 or 4 milliamp, 5. No. Right off the bat, okay, there's the LED here for this. When you push it, there's a 1500 ohm resistor. For this one, there's a 1500. For this one, there's a 1500. For this one, there's a 1500. Then they go 680, 680, 680, 360, 360, 360, 360, 360, 240, 240. So all they've done is, yeah, you've got this, this, and this, but a whole bunch of them are the same. That's fine. Now, here you've got, hey, those little LEDs, the ones that were like red and green. On this side here, you can test it for the first 3 holes. This is important. You can have the anode, cathode, anode. So if it's a common cathode, you would put it in here. We'll just look at this part of the circuit here. And yes, the cathode went down to the ground, and the anode went up to the 9 volts through a 360 and a 360 ohm resistor. Hey, that's okay. That's working fine. You'll notice now as you get over into this area, well, and I'll flip this over so you can see it. The next pin's not connected. Okay, the next one is connected to a 120 ohm resistor. So you're now going this way, not that way. You're going this way. Okay, fine, but it goes not connected, connected, not connected, 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 not connected, ditto, 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 dittos. So if you're testing something, you got to know which ones actually are going to be connected up. Otherwise, you might be going, hey, this is wrong. This isn't working. So that's not ideal. Now, for this one here, the cathode, anode, cathode. Wonder how many LEDs this one's blown up. Because, okay, the anode comes up and over, up to the 9 volts. That's fine. This one here goes across 360 ohm resistor, which is R21, and to the ground. That's fine also. This one here, it's connected straight to ground. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over the circuit so you can see it, and then I'll zoom in on it. Okay, so hopefully you can see this, and remember it is flipped over. So this cathode here is this one, which goes over to the resistor, which then goes up to ground. Fine. Here's the anode. It's hard to see, but it does go underneath this bridge, this 0 ohm resistor, and it goes up to here. This one here actually is not connected up to there. It goes across the bridge, and then with 0 ohms down to the other cathode right there. So one of the LEDs is gonna have a dead short to the ground. That's probably not good for the LED, since it probably should have had a 360 ohm resistor in there. When they designed it, that should have been a 360, and they needed to connect this ground. Probably they should have taken a bridge across there to there. So yeah, It's a design error in the thing. And I saw this on a video where they didn't mention this, but about 7 years ago, they were showing one, and I was able to see enough of the circuit to realize it hadn't changed in that time. So don't use that one, which is, of course, this in here. So that's how it's set up. The next part will just simply be, I'm going to pull these out and replace them with the machined ones. You can also see the high quality workmanship in here. There's all these little solder beads all over the place, so I'll have to clean those out. There's a tiny bit of excess flux down here, but it's actually very clean compared to a lot of the boards I've seen. And if you want to take a look at some of the fantastic soldering, this looks more like it was a problem with the solder mask over the actual pads. So some of these are just barely connected in here. Big gap on this one. And the mask wasn't covered in this, so. And then, of course, the nice little round blobs on pins, which is usually never a good idea to see, because it means that you didn't get a good solder flow on it. I just popped the board out to show that it was single-sided. There we go. And what I'm going to do is take out these two here. I probably will just do the desoldering off of camera, save time. I found the easiest way was just to pull this off, exposing each of them, so I can just put the pliers on it like that, heat up the other side, and pull them out. And then to clean it up, some solder wick. Hopefully it'll clean out anything that's in the holes. And not pull the, oh, there's one. That's clean. Looks like there's a bit there. I can see a tiny bit more on that one. And that one. Hopefully they'll fit. So these headers aren't even close to the proper depth, but when you take two of them and put them together like that, they will come out about the same. So what I've done is I've screwed the board in. I haven't finished soldering, and that looks good. So now I'll just touch up the soldering, and I did pull off one pad, so I'll just have to bridge across it. Yeah, you can see the one pad that I lifted there. So I'll just need to build a solder bridge across it. And now it's all reassembled with some very nice female sockets there. Let me just put the back on. So let's see how it goes. A lot tighter fit. Yep. A lot tighter. Now let's see. I don't have any of those two color ones, but I can just switch the anode around. I'm not replacing any of these ones here because these are for the higher power, and a normal one of these I believe is 0.5 millimeter thickness on the lead, and when you get up into those 100 milliamp LEDs, I believe they're a tiny bit bigger, 0.6 or 0.7 millimeter. So on the bottom here, we'll do this one, which should be good. Now let's see what happens when I plug it in and we no longer have that proper ground. I just burned out the LED. Yep, it's gone. So if you've got one of these, don't use that setting there, or at least you're going to have to change the circuit somehow. So that's it for this one. Wasn't exactly what I had planned. But hey, that's life. Things go different ways. Have a good day. Bye.